Bitcoin right now is attempting the impossible, something we haven't seen for a very long time. You are going to love this video, so pay close attention, please. What we're seeing right now on Bitcoin is an attempted break above $116,000, which is our local range high. Simultaneously, while Bitcoin is attempting this breakout, we are seeing the stock market drop pretty heavily. The correlation is when the stocks drop, Bitcoin drop, which will confirm a bearish failed auction above $116,000. This is something that you need to be aware of right now. So we're going to jump into the charts. I'm going to analyze this for you, prepare you for what's to come next, because it is, it's truly extremely important. And this is kind of a rare type of price action that we haven't seen. So extremely interesting even for myself how this plays out. And I'm also going to be talking about a $10,000 giveaway that we're going to be doing, which is open to everybody. So yeah, you can also enter that if that's of interest to you, to win some free money. Who wouldn't be? But nevertheless, let's go back over first the most important thing right now, and that is Bitcoin. After the bit of a symmetrical triangle that we formed, getting a break to the upside. But what is key here, and that's what I'm going to be analyzing for you all, is how Bitcoin is getting a relatively strong move to the upside right now. But simultaneously, as we're talking, we are seeing a fairly large drop to the downside on the stock market. Each and every time we have seen this over recent weeks, months, years, this is a strong correlation, that when the stock market drops, Bitcoin takes its time, but it does follow down too. So is this going to be a continuation of the pattern, confirming a failed auction, or are we about to see, which we do not see that often, which is a stock market drop, while Bitcoin can still get strength and move to higher price targets? I'm extremely excited to see the outcome, and I want to talk you through how I'm analyzing this as a professional trader that comes in every single day with the sole objective of making profits. Okay, that's going to be exciting. Let's start off the video then. I don't want to spend too much time analyzing previous price action. I really want to focus on the now and what's happening next. But, really simply what we've done over the past few weeks, right, well, the past week or so, we put in our original high here, which gave us our, range high. That's how we were looking at this range high of this area of consolidation on the Friday before getting the drop Saturday and putting in the low on Sunday morning. So on Sunday morning, you formed a local swing failure pattern, which was a really nice trade in itself, by the way. You actually hit this low on Saturday evening, which was a big psychological round number, 112,000. There was a very high probability that this was not the low, and we will make another low. So after the Saturday evening low, we did play out that extremely high probability, which was another low will be coming on Sunday morning to take out the psychological number with a swing failure pattern, of course, on a lower term time frame. Could have traded this if you were there already and waiting for it. Psychological, $12,000 taken out with a swing failure pattern. If you took that long trade, you can still be in it now, right? But that's the low that we've got. And from there, we made a nice rally to the upside. And this is where you can start to see the value areas. Oh, wow. You've got to be looking at the value areas. Once you've got this potential range, so this is your range high, bring it to current price action. What you're going to see is the value area respect here was lovely. Rally up to the value area high, as you can see now, coming back down to around the value area low. Little bit of a fake out, we could say, before the reclaim. And then another move, guess where? Value area high. Just look at the respect of these levels. Value area high before once again coming back down to test that point of control also perfectly. Just look at the point of control back test there to the absolute dollar. We love that one, right? Absolute dollar back test of the point of control before the breakout. And what we're seeing now is what's important. The attempted breakout of that range high. So let me remove the value area. Range high. Of course, we had a symmetrical triangle going on with the lower high, lower high, lower high, while simultaneously low, higher low. That is that contracting price action ready for a breakout. And I will always say this, we are in a big bull market at the end of the day, right? Big bull market increases probabilities to the upside. But many people could get faked out on this thinking, oh, symmetrical triangle is bearish. It's got to break to the downside. No. That is not the case. Symmetrical triangle does not mean always continuation. You can also get reversals, as we're seeing an attempted reversal right now. And of course, the underlying context is we are in a bull market. So that's something to remember. But nevertheless, we have broke out of this triangle. I will say a very standard target, but again, I'm not really paying much attention to this, but just for the sake of saying, oh, this would be the official target, that would be coming in at around $119,700. Let's say the top of the old X wave that we had going on there to around the daily or 120,000. So if you want to take this as a very standard, basic way of looking at a triangle, if you're looking at this as your triangle has broke to the upside, you take the length of the triangle from the high to low point, expand it from the breakout, and that gives you a very standard way of looking at things. Black and white, well, there you go. Let's call it $120,000 target. Nice and simple. But that is not the way I'm going to be analyzing it right now. But, just to say that is a way you could if you want to analyze it like that. For me, that triangle is playing out. We're already attempting the breakout. So what is key for me now? Well, a few very, very big levels that we have above us. Massively around $118,000, but we do have a little bit of prior resistance. And that is going to be coming in with the all-time high anchored VWAP. All-time high anchored VWAP. You can see how this lines up so perfectly, actually, with the weekly naked point of control there. 117,500. So for me, we just have this absolutely crucial, let's call it, massive resistance zone from $117,500 really up to $118,500 is what I would class as our volume resistance. Our volume resistance is going to be coming in there. We can actually pull this as a bigger range now. I think we're all in of agreement. It's going to be viewed as a bigger range. We're attempting to get back into the value area low. This is just so crucial what's happening right now. It's unbelievable. We're attempting to get into the value area low, which can open a target to the official triangle target of around, $119,700. So the theory is, as a very basic perspective, you've put in this triangle that we've broken out of. Think about this. The triangle target can be taken, and it can give you a triangle target officially of there, the weekly level, $119,400, right? And there's another way of viewing this as a target, and that is acceptance into the value area low gives you a target of the value area high. Okay, this is a simple way of viewing it. This is your target. As long as you maintain above the value area low, you are going to learn so much. Please make notes. Please listen carefully because I'm telling you, there's a lot to learn in this video. That is one way of looking at this. Acceptance into the value area low, target the value area high. Point of control is, of course, a very big level. This is where you can look for your rejections. And one of two things. You get your rejection at the point of control. You can form continuous higher lows like you've done here. Higher low, higher low, higher low. You can, of course, make another move to the upside, form another higher low before ultimately making your way back up to where? That value area high. And at the value area high, think about this. What happened? What happened on our local range that we've been trading for the past, 5-ish days? Well, let me remind you, we had this as our local range. We went value area low, value area high, back test point of control, breakout. So now think of that as the higher term time frame plan of how, this is a setup from value area low. Again, we got to be aware of a rejection off the point of control. I do think it is a big level to be aware of, but nevertheless, the bigger target would be the value area high. Well, of course, we can get a straight breakout, but if it plays out exactly how this played out, it would be value area high, back testing the point of control before breaking out to all-time highs. This would be our all-time high breakout plan, where essentially we're looking at this as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we've done a bigger WXY, and now we're working on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse. So that would be the, of course, much more bullish option. I would always have a bullish and a bearish option. We cannot just be perma bulls, and that's where I move on to the failed auction, which is the very big bearish option. So if you love very big bearish options, stay tuned because that's what we're going to be talking about next, right after I explain this $10,000 giveaway that we're doing. So really quick 1-minute explanation. Chart Champions in connection with Bybit, we are giving away $10,000. This is going to be the first of many giveaways. So if you like giveaways, you might as well join this one because this is going to be, once you've got entered into it, you're going to be automatically entered into all future giveaways. Of course, you do have to have a Bybit account. So, for example, if you live in the UK where Bybit is not allowed, you're not going to be able to enter this giveaway, unfortunately, unless there are workarounds. For example, you live in the UK, you have a business I don't know, a business in Greece or whatever, a place where you can trade Bybit, then of course you can open an account via your business. There's other, there's ways to have an account in Bybit living in the queue, but nevertheless, if you have a Bybit account, you can enter this giveaway. It's very simple. Come over to our Discord. This is all free to enter, by the way. There are a few steps, very simple. Come over to the Discord. Once you're in the Discord, you can come down to this giveaway section. Again, there are some instructions listed here over on Twitter as well. But you can come over to join the Discord, come over to the giveaway channel. And of course, here we have the full instructions. You have to just come over to this first post, click on this little green button where you enter your Bybit user ID. That will make sure that you are connected to the chart champions. If not, then you are going to have to create a new Bybit account, transfer your KYC from your old account to the chart champions account, and essentially this is just a way of linking yourself to CC and then being eligible for all of the giveaways that we will be doing. Okay, so that is the requirement, and this is this is in partnership with Bybit, so shout out to Bybit. This is my favorite trading exchange, and there they are for a reason, right? So yeah, this is the $10,000 giveaway, first of many, and anyone that enters this, we're also going to be giving away the new Atlas template that I've built from the ground up to everybody that enters. So you get 2 in 1. Entry into the $10,000 giveaway, absolutely free, and also you will be winning, guaranteed, a Atlas template. Of course, if you're already a contender or champion member, you already have this, but if you are not, if you are just a spectator viewer of this channel, then you get this Atlas template for free. So it is winners all round here. So yeah, just wanted to make you aware of that. First of many giveaways, very easy to enter. Make use of this and enter the giveaway if that's of interest to you. Otherwise, we'll go back to the charts. If you trade this well, you can make $10,000 in a few minutes while trading. So, that's why this is, of course, the main focus. Trading, much more bigger profits to be had. So, anyway, it's nice having giving away $10,000. And I resume. So, of course, we have some bigger targets right above us, right? But I want to talk you through this failed auction, which, of course, we can hit the bigger target and then come down, or we can just do it much quicker and come down first. It's, the failed auction, what I want to explain is the failed auction works in either way. You can come up and then get acceptance, or you can do this biggest fake out, right now. But it's going to be really key because of the bigger value area low that we're at. Remember, we're at this range value area low. The target of the value area high, or even the point of control, is only valid while we maintain this as support. And you can see how it is right now. We've got above it, close, wick, testing, but holding currently the value area low as support. This is really nice because simultaneously it's in this very close zone to our range high. So we can just say with very big confidence, well, $116,000 is a crucial support. While we maintain 116, of course, we got to look up for higher price targets. That is the expectation here. But although the expectation can be higher prices, again, we are in a big bull market. I would not be surprised to see higher prices, and I would like that. I am aware of the failed auction, which is, instead of holding this as support, we lose it. We end up losing this as support. That then opens a bearish failed auction trade setup. The way of getting entry is waiting for the acceptance back in. Invalidation, of course, is above the high of the fake out. So again, we do not have the exact high yet. We could make another high, for example, before coming back down. So this is adjusted to where that high is made. But then once we come back into the range, that is where the failed auction activates. It's upon getting acceptance back into the range. And by acceptance, we do not just mean a wick, right? If you come back into here and then wick, that's not acceptance. We want to see some actual strong acceptance via one of two things. Primarily, we can see this on the order flow. So we can get a very good heads up on the order flow very quickly of is there acceptance, yes or no. Alternatively, if you do not know how to read order flow, well, you're at a massive disadvantage, if I'm being honest. And you'd have to wait for some type of candle closes. So you could be like, I want to see 2 consecutive 30-minute closes. That's going to be how I view acceptance back into the range. Okay, that's a way that you can do it if you do not know how to read order flow. But, if you know how to read order flow, you don't need to wait on candle closes to see acceptance. And that essentially would activate your failed auction. And I want to say this, does a failed auction mean a big drop down to lower price targets? Does a failed auction mean a massive drop? No, it does not equal a massive drop. It equals a high probability of a massive drop. But of course, there are support levels that we need to be aware of. We absolutely could, if we are building up a support trend line here, And look at this point of control. You could confirm a failed auction, come back inside, and still ultimately hold a higher low towards higher prices. So I just wanted to say that we don't need to get a failed auction and it means a massive crash. It does not mean that. What it means is a high probability of a drop. But again, trading is, you have to be like water. I will always say this: you have to be on your toes, right? You could confirm a failed auction and say, oh, this is so bearish. You start to get a drop to the downside. You wake up the next morning and you've had a massive pump. And you're like, well, how did this happen? How did we get a pump if we got a failed auction? The market at the end of the day is fluid. The market is always moving. You can get failed auctions and then reclaim, which invalidate the failed auctions. And this is why I would always say trading is not easy, because how easy it would be if we could just say, oh, we've seen a breakout, we're going to all-time highs. Well, that would be super easy, right? But you can see the breakout be very bullish right now, and then it ends up getting the weakness and coming back down, and then here you say, oh, this is super bearish, and then it starts to get a reclaim and show strength, and then you start to get you just understand how the market is dynamic, the market is moving. It's not so simple and easy. And that is why I will always say, my final tip here, as a trader, I do two things, and I will say this helps me greatly. The first thing that I do is always have a bullish and a bearish plan. A lot of traders, they'll come in here and say, oh, it's a breakout, I'm bullish, looking for a massive pump. Or alternatively, they'll see weakness, oh, this is bearish. I will always have a bullish and a bearish plan. I am happy. I'm super happy to see a rise, and I'm super happy to long when price reaches support levels. And I'm just as happy. Price reaches up into a resistance, I get an entry trigger, I'll take a short. I can be bullish and look for shorts. I can be bearish and look for longs. Okay. And so this is my biggest tip. Number one, have a bullish and bearish plan. Be prepared and mark out your levels. Know where your levels of interest are. So when you hit those levels, you're not there wondering in the time and confused, what are we doing here? No, you already are planned and prepared. Number two is that level of being dynamic. Okay, do not get set in stone. Many times I've even openly said, right, oh, we've hit this really big resistance, but I'm still bullish at that level, right? We hit the resistance, but I'm still expecting higher. I still believe we can push higher here. Price is hovering at this resistance. I haven't took a short. I'm expecting higher. But then the next day, we see a clear drop. And then there's clear weakness. Well, then I have to adjust. I have to say, well, I wasn't necessarily expecting that, but I'm not going to stick to my bias of yesterday. We were at that resistance. I missed the short. Well, I have to adapt. I cannot be stuck in my ways. Just as if we could hit a really big support level, and I could say, well, I'm not longing this support level yet. I'm looking for lower prices. But then the next day, with new data, we start to see a bounce to the upside. Well, I would be a very bad trader if I just kept saying day on day, well, I'm bearish, I'm looking for lower, and the price is clearly moving higher with strength. Well, I would be a bad trader if I was stuck in my ways and had that bias. So that's why my tip 2 is you have to be updating your bias. You have to be dynamic. What is bearish one day can be bullish the next. And some people will, you're flip-flopping, one day bullish, one day bearish, one day bearish, one day... That's fine. People can talk all they want, but at the end of the day, are you making profits? And that's the key here. If you're making profits, I do believe that is only possible with a dynamically shifting bias based off of the data. Of course, you should not be randomly one day bullish, one day bearish, no, but you should be able to shift with the data. For example, right now, personally, I think it's fine to be bullish because you've seen a breakout, you've seen a back test. But then it's also fine to switch bearish if you confirm a failed auction, right? Well, not even necessarily bullish on bearish, but saying, well, right now, personally, I'm not in a short trade. I have not shorted this rise. I'm not in a short trade. I prefer to see higher prices. Okay, so it's not about being bullish or bearish. It's about saying, is there a short trade, yes or no? For me, right now, as I'm talking, there is not a short trade. I am not shorting this rise. Simply why? If I wanted to short $116,000, but we instantly move above the level, back test it as support, if I'm shorting right now, it's a total gamble. I would be gambling, and that's not something that I like to do. So where would my short be? Well, higher prices, of course, preferred, or the failed auction. So it's about knowing when and why you're looking for longs, why and when you're looking for short trades. Stop trading random levels, random places for random reasons. Mark out your levels, Do your plans, prepare yourself for these setups, and then execute when the entry triggers are given. The worst thing you can do is see the entry, get scared, miss the trade, see the pump, and then say, oh, I missed that trade because I was too scared to take the trade. Or I had a bearish bias, and then the next day it gave a bullish setup, but I was still stuck in my bearish bias. Oh, I missed the long trade. Remove that, focus on the charts, trade the charts, and you are gonna see progress. Slowly but surely, I promise you, you will see progress. It just takes time and effort. But with time and effort comes experience, comes intuition, and it comes to profits over the long journey. But it is a long journey. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to join the giveaway, you know how to get over here. Come over in the Discord, all steps explained. Yeah, I probably will remove some of these messages so it's not so don't get offended if some of the messages get removed. But yeah, everyone could enter this giveaway. You just need to follow the steps in the very first post. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you ever so much, and well, have a brilliant day. Be aware of the failed auction, prepared, planned. Of course, I will confirm it first. If you want that kind of heads up to the champion members, which you can get access to the champions Discord via chartchampions.com, live trading, full education, and of course trading updates throughout the day via our Discord. It's the place to be if you want to make it. Cheers everybody, thank you. That's me signing out. Goodbye.